If you're currently working on your first indie game, there's a good chance that you've already sabotaged your chances of success. Last week, I asked new game developers to send me their game ideas, and many of them are making big mistakes that will waste months or years of their time. And in the worst case scenario, it could mean that they'll have to quit and restart their game. So in this video, we'll look at 3 game developers who are making these mistakes, what they should do to fix them, and exactly how you can avoid falling into the same traps and get your game done. Let's start off with a game that is doing almost everything right, but is missing some crucial points that will stop them from making a big splash. The problem a lot of you will have when starting your first game is that you've never been told how to translate your idea into something that you can actually finish and still be proud of. It's not like you wanted to make an overscoped game, it just sort of happens. So you end up wasting years because you never actually go through a launch. Now the best way to solve that problem is to do what this first game did. With one look, you immediately understand what this is. A cozy game where you put together hexagon puzzles. Great games rarely start out like this. Usually we have dozens of mechanics swirling around in our heads before we ever even open up the game engine. But if you can visualize how to communicate the one thing that you really love about your game in a single GIF like this, you'll end up a lot more confident that you can actually finish your game. So what's the problem with this game? Well, it's actually not something you can easily identify by looking at the game itself. I had to look up the behind the scenes data, and I can see here that it only has 17 followers. That translates to only about 170 wishlists. So even though you have a great game idea that has the potential to earn some solid money, you haven't harnessed that to attract a strong enough audience when you launch. Let's dive into how you can make that happen. The first problem holding you back is the capsule, or this header image. What does this tell me about the game? The background with what looks like glowing stars makes me think it might be in outer space. But you have all these beautiful shots in the trailer showing the game set up in this cozy living room, so lean into that cozy atmosphere for the capsule too. Replace this image with a nice slightly blurred out fireplace in the background, bring the hex board into view, and let a sunbeam shine through the window just like it does in the trailer. You'll notice the next problem right away as soon as you put yourself into the shoes of a player. If I'm looking through this page and seeing if I want to buy the game, I'm looking for gameplay. But the trailer starts out by showing me this big wide shot of the living room. We don't want to lose anybody this early. To avoid that, just cut out this first shot. The second clip is perfect. It's visually interesting. It explains the whole game on the spot. Real quick, at the very end, make sure this cut isn't so abrupt. See if you can get a more seamless transition into the logo. The rest of the trailer is spot on. One last thing. Before you launch, send the demo to 1,000 cozy and puzzle game streamers and YouTubers. Ask them to tell the viewers to wishlist your game, and do your best to get as close to 7,000 wishlists in 6 months as you can. It's not going to be easy, but be patient. It'll be worth it. By the way, if you guys want detailed feedback on your games, we can talk one-on-one face-to-face about your current game idea, whether you have a Steam page or if you haven't even started yet. Just click the link in the description and set up a call. I'd love to help you make your idea real. Also, because you sent me your YouTube channel, I'll quickly point you in the right direction there. Here's the thing with YouTube. For most of us, if we try to make videos about a ton of different topics, the algorithm just collapses and has no idea what to do. So if you want to do YouTube, you need to decide. Are you a game art channel? Are you a devlog channel? An advice channel? Pick what you love the most and focus on that. Because you clearly have the talent, my suggestion would be to niche down into making art tip videos, but it's of course up to you. Let's look at another game developer who is incredibly talented but needs to make a massive change if she wants to reach her game dev goal. And it's the same problem many of you have right now. If I asked you exactly what you wanted to do 1 year from now with game dev, would you say, I want to launch 3 Steam games, each one earning 1,000 wishlists to learn the market and launch a 6-figure idea by the end of the year? Or would it be something more like, I was just going to keep working on my game until something happens. So when I look at what the nonconformist is doing, she's clearly super talented. Her games are visually very solid. Her YouTube thumbnails rock. But the problem is I struggle to see a clear goal here. You said you want to launch a game on Steam and grow a community on YouTube. So the question is, how does YouTube help you launch your game? Or on the flip side, is spending all this time on your game actually going to lead you to foster the YouTube community that you want to be growing? The good news is there's a ton of potential here and you have a lot to choose from, but try thinking about what the one thing you essentially want all your game dev work to point to. Is it the game or the YouTube channel? And then once you figure that out, we can talk in more detail about what you want your next steps to be. I'm glad so many of you guys are trying to get going on YouTube, but I know for most of you, you're going to want to focus on game dev. So let's look at one more indie game that's super impressive, but is just not quite where it needs to be. Because like many of us, the developer has gone all in on something that might be holding him back from reaching his dream. So this is Case 42, The Redwood Files, a Silent Hill inspired game. So let's go over the positives first. The game's identity is actually remarkably well defined. It's Silent Hill, but in India. The capsule art is very professional and leans into that mysterious mood. But if we step into the shoes of potential players, what are they going to think? Remember, people are looking for a reason not to play your game. If it looks unprofessional, players will ignore it. Make sure this grammar is correct. You can even use AI if you want. As for the trailer,
You wouldn't believe the things I've witnessed.
When players hear you instead of a professional voice actor, they'll be able to tell. So make sure you hire a pro even if it's just for one line, or don't include voice acting in the trailer at all. Second of all, players don't watch trailers, they just kind of skip through them. If I get halfway through this trailer and think, that's it, I just walk around and watch cutscenes, I'll give up. But here's the thing, that's not your game. Later on, you show a ton of interesting stuff. Don't save these terrifying monsters for later, show them soon. Show the detective shooting them. In fact, even though your capsule art is very good, let's think about if we can create some kind of surprising visual or striking contrast. Going back to your pivot point, Silent Hill but in India, what if you focused on some of that mythology in the header image? Lean into what makes this game exciting and unique. You've clearly poured a ton of love and effort into this game, that much is obvious, but here's something I had to learn the hard way. A game like this is going to need at least another few years to finish. Ask yourself if you can generate enough wishlists to make all those years worth it. If the answer is no, that's not a failure, it's a signal, and you're lucky to catch it now instead of after all those years will pass. Here's the good news, your game doesn't need more work to succeed. It needs less. All it takes for you to make your dream game become real is to identify what to refine about it, what to cut, what is not needed, and launch in 6 months. You don't achieve your dream by adding every single feature you imagined at first. You achieve it by getting something out there that you can be proud of. Obviously, no two games are alike, so if you're working on your dream game and want to learn exactly what you need to do to get it done, possibly even this year, click the link below. You and I can come up with a personalized game plan to make sure your game idea captures what you're really passionate about and transform it into something that you can actually finish and still be proud of, no matter your experience level. I hope this helped you. Thanks so much for watching, and God bless.